All right, this is a really good session. It's a really long session, so there's a good couple parts that I've gone ahead and sped up because this, again, is not a training video. This is just my experience kind of video. I'm not a professional. I'm not a trainer. If you would like to pursue positive reinforcement, I encourage you to look up professionals and trainers and how-tos and everything like that. So we're pretty good with the grooming. We're obviously using positive reinforcement. I have the bag with me. It's going pretty okay. I'm grooming. I do have the dressage whip just in case. She's still a little funky about some body language. You can see right there where she kind of moves. And I don't think it's aggressive. I think she's just confused and kind of offering behavior. I think she gets on my space easily. So a lot of this is now going to be about shaping behavior. One, getting used to me and everything like that, but also shaping behavior, a neutral position, getting out of my space, no mugging kind of stuff, which is important. And it comes with the territory of food and rewards. And you just got to establish the communication that you're working on and everything like that. Again, a lot of grooming, kind of touching different places of her body. She's not a very itchy horse, which is kind of sad because I would like to itch her and get a reward system that way, but she's not super into it, and that's okay. So this is me dropping the curry. I'm like, okay, we're going to move to me touching. Again, I was doing really well in protective contact, the shoulder. This is some correcting as well that's happening because, as I mentioned in my last video, she starts kind of always trying to put her shoulder in my shoulder, and I want to be able to move around her without her doing that. So that's kind of what I'm rewarding here, where, I do this, and then when I don't ask you to do something and I move, it's fine, And some more touching. And then I decide to go ahead and we're going to try the halter. So I chose a nylon halter. I'm really bad just logistically with a rope halter. I'm also not a super fan of rope halters in regards to their points of pressure. I think they're a bit thin for my take, and then if they have knots, those are points of pressure. So I used a nylon because it's flat. I also could hold it open for her. So I'm taking a break from the halter because she seems a little bit off about it. And you can see where this is the swinging of the head. And this is me trying to re-engage her with a quote easy win, right? And it is easy because she knows what she's doing. And it's just working with mixing it up and kind of having easy wins. I'm using the dressage whip to touch her because I realized that I have to put the halter over her ears. And if she's not crazy about me touching near her ears, which she's okay with, but she's not great at it, then I can't put the halter on her. Just an example of breaking things down into the smallest steps.
Well, it's like I can't walk 2 feet from you. But no, I don't know what the issue is. You don't like me that much. You act like you do, but you actually don't. I know you don't.
And there's another example of chit-chatty Henry. Okay, so this is a little bit she's a little too overstimulated and she's offering the shoulder behavior, but this is kind of where I've realized that I messed up in teaching her that, in the sense of she's going to offer it a lot because she knows she gets rewarded, and it's dangerous in the sense of she's kind of throwing her body at me when she's uncomfortable, and if I accidentally touch her or anything, she's going to be like, ah. So it's a little bit of shaping behavior and everything. So back to the halter. I'm encouraging her and rewarding. Just be like, yep, you did it. First step, you gotta put it over your nose. Cool. Over the nose. With positive reinforcement, they do talk about kind of 3 loops. So you want, I'm going to use the word perfect. You should probably, maybe smooth is a better word. You want 3 smooth, successful loops before moving on. I'm not very good with this at some points, but this is just me doing that, right? We're reinforcing the behavior where the behavior is the same 3 times, and that's what I'm looking for. So I know she's, quote, got it down, and that's really helpful. And you see, I break it even down where I don't put it over both ears. I touch one ear with it, and then I take it off. I touch ears, take it off. I don't want to throw the halter on her. I want it to be a positive experience, and that's what I start to really strive for, like everything's being a positive. See, she's really engaged with it. She understands what's happening. Touch the halter, I get the treat. It's easy. Okay, so I've actually sped up this portion because it is in real time, 30 minutes. Again, it's long in the beginning, and it's just, I also struggle with like kind of jumping off the deep end where you just like do it. I get to the point where I'm like, I don't know. And it's like hard to jump, but I'm okay with that in some regard, especially this where I'm like, she's not 100% where I want her to be. So we're going to, take our time and we're going to chill out. I thought I could halter like the day before. I remember thinking I can do it the day before, and it never got to that point. So like today I was like, or this day I was like, I'm gonna really give it a shot. And I didn't think if I could, which, I mean, you're watching this and like she's fine and stuff, but like there's just enough inconsistencies and hesitations with her that I have a habit of pressing too much. You saw many times where I push too fast and too far, and I'm feeling very conscientious of that. I don't want anything like that to happen again. At least, be aware of it. So it's just a lot of fast forwarding, and I want her to be like really good about this, because this is a really important moment. The other thing is, you probably have noticed I did not take the tag off before I haltered. I kind of had this personal thought that when the tag comes off, the halter needs to go on, because if I can take the tag off, I can put the halter on because of where it's at. I don't really know if that makes sense, but it was important to me that to be able to take the tag off, that she was okay with everything else happening. That was just how I kind of saw it. And that's why it's taken a really long time to get the tag off. But I mean, you've seen in my other videos, like I think I would have pressed too fast taking the tag off, in a more traditional sense of tag off and then you wait until you halter. But it was just kind of a personal thing I wanted to make sure she was cool with. Again, this was 30 minutes of me just going back and forth. And there is a point where I'm like, oh, okay. Like, I just have to do it. And I'm still not there. Like, the thing is, she's really good. But again, this is like half a personal journal about how I feel. And okay, so this is a moment that I was like, I felt like I pressed too fast, right? Because she pulled away. And my whole thing was, I don't want her to pull away from the halter. I want her to engage with it. So I was like, okay, ear. And then I was like, well, okay, we did it. Oh my God. And then I was kind of scared of the clip because I was like, oh, I hope she doesn't like get nervous about the clip there. I'm like, here, I'm adjusting it on you. You've got something on your face. It's okay. She does not care at all. She really does not care at all. So, and that's going to be a theme that starts happening. I'm going to be more nervous than she is for a variety of things. Like, till this day, I'm like, oh no, I don't know how she's going to react. Like, I hope she's okay. And then she's just like, okay, do you have food? Am I getting rewarded for this? So, yeah, there we go. We have the halter. We have it. And it's on her face. It took forever. It feels like. Okay, so I guess dates, because I've never really talked about like the timing in regards to a couple things. This is me breaking it down even further where I'm like, there's a strap on your neck. Like, I want you to be okay with that before I clip it. I got her February 20th. This is March 23rd. So it's about a month. I think some people would say, oh, that's really long. And some people say that's short. I wish it was a little bit shorter just because it would have been cool. This is me. My sister's doing something and I'm waiting for her to like come look because I don't want to yell, but like I want her to come look that I haltered the horse. I did it. So it was about a month that it took to halter, and you've been on this journey with me, right? A little bit about me fumbling at the beginning, her hesitation, my mess ups, the positives, and like, you know, what started to work. So this is where it kind of goes fast after this in terms of skills. I also will say that I really attribute this kind of moment here to the protective contact, because I did the protective contact like weekend, March 17th, because my sister went down for a St. Patrick's Day thing. And then like within a week, I'm haltering her. And yeah, you know, in the scheme of things, that's not the shortest amount of time, but from February 20th to March 17th, I was really not doing well. I was not sure of myself. I was fumbling around. I was like, I don't know if I can do this. So after this, it starts going pretty fast, in my opinion, but like a good way, just like, oh, things are clicking. Like, we got this. We're communicating. So this is me getting ready for tag removal. I'm touching where, like, you would take the tag. I want her to be okay when I'm just, like, messing around. I've also never taken off a tag before. Probably should have looked up how those come off, which I think this is when I kind of realized, I was like, oh no, I don't actually know how these go on and off. So I want her to be okay while I'm fumbling around near her jugular. I'll go ahead and speed up this portion because, again, I'm fumbling around for a good amount of time. But it's the same concept, right? Like slow steps, I'm moving it around, I'm messing with it, reward, back off, okay, take a break, that's okay, and just keep going at it, small steps, and just look at this stuff before you do it like I did. Okay, so here's better, like, actual, that real time is probably about 7 minutes before I'm able to take the tag off. So there we go. I'm like, oh, and she's a little bit unsure, and I kind of just push through it, which is okay. It happens, but I was really close, which is just an excuse, but there we go. I did it. So I'm pretty happy with her, so I'm giving her some good, it's not necessarily a jackpot, but kind of shocked her because I'm going to go tell my sister that I just took that tag off. And I'm really excited. And we did it. So I'm just going to speed up this portion because I'm away. And you can just look at how cute Henry looks in her bright yellow halter. The color choice took a while, but I'm pretty happy with yellow being her color. That is a good shot of how roan she gets. Her coloring's really weird. I haven't tested for it because it costs money to test. I'm kind of like half supervising because I want her to be okay with like the halter on, but at the same time it's not a breakaway, so gotta supervise. And just some general cleanup. This is when my sister goes and grabs the lead rope because I want not to lead. We actually end up taking some cute pictures, but I wanted her to get used to the lead. So the first thing I actually do is kind of like make the clipping sound when she's looking at it and kind of like where it would be, because I want her to be okay with that sound before I just clip it on her and scare her. Yeah, so you can kind of see there's a little bit of reaction when I clip it. She's not crazy about it. It's okay. Anyway, this is it. We did it. We haltered. We removed the tag. The tag's in my kitchen, actually, like, just hanging nicely. I really wanted to hang it, like, on my rear view mirror on my car, but I don't want the plastic to degrade, because it gets really hot in my car, and plastic degrades in heat, so it'd be nice to hang it. I think that would be, like, really cool, but I think I'd have to get, like, a replica to do that, because I wouldn't feel comfortable with the original. But I think that's just, I'm an archivist, by the way. I don't know if I've ever said that, but yeah, so preservation of materials is kind of my thing. Also records management and research and anything. But I like preserving the originals. The best way to display something is to actually do a copy. But that's a whole other topic, obviously. You guys are interested in the horse. She's very cute. We're still not sure about the lead rope. But I don't know if I have the leading video. My sister has a really good clip, though. It's not this day. I think it's the next day, where I lead her around, and she's completely fine. As will be the motto. Henry's fine. It's not a big deal. It's a big deal to me, obviously, because I don't know what I'm doing, and I don't want to scare her, right? I don't want something to be a negative experience, because I don't want that to affect her. I want everything to be positive, so then, she can continue living life in a positive manner and not be scared and not be traumatized. But that's a lot of responsibility. My God. Okay, so the rest of this is actually just me kind of pulling on the halter and rewarding her, because I want her to be aware that that will happen and get a positive reaction out of it. It's obviously a pressure release thing where you pressure and then you release when they turn to you with the lead rope, but I'm trying to make it a positive reinforcement cue. So I pull on the lead, she looks at me, and I reward her, because that's what I wanted. So it's getting her used to that. The other thing that I obviously at this point and till this day try to use positive reinforcement 99% of the time. I probably achieve about 85 to 90% of that. But at the same time, you almost need to teach, in my opinion, not a professional, you almost need to teach them pressure release, because you cannot guarantee that you will always be around, that positive reinforcement people will always have their hands on her. What if she's at, the hospital overnight? What if, someone's trailering her? What if I put her at a boarding barn and they need to move her from point A to point B? People are traditionally going to use a pressure release system. And I don't want that to take Henry off guard. I want her to be aware of that and react appropriately, follow direction that people are asking. But I guess I just want it to be an underlying positive experience, because she needs to learn those skills, even if I don't use them, because I don't know what the next person, if something happens to me tomorrow, and she goes somewhere, I don't want her to be in a situation where she's scared. I obviously wish that, things are different and that she'll always go to a positive reinforcement home if something happens, but you can't guarantee a lot of things. So I think it is important to teach them things that will help them later, because how many horses get labeled like problems when they just literally don't understand what you're asking, right? I feel like a lot of issues are communication, and one, it's communication of my body hurts, something's hurtful to me, and you're not listening. And then it comes to, I don't know what you're asking. Like this, she doesn't know what I'm asking. I'm like, okay, that's okay. We'll work through it. We're communicating. We're going back and forth. But this is kind of what this means, right? Yeah. Anyway, this is a really good session, and I'm really, really excited.